Everybody a quick walkthrough and a little tutorial on how to use the HubSpot sales dashboard that I've put together for each of you. You should have received an email last Thursday, and that would have come from directly from HubSpot. I sent it out of the platform itself, so it would have come from uh, like no reply at hubspot.com or something, or no reply at notifications.hubspot.com or some such thing. And it would look something like this. It'll have a sketch of your dashboard, and then at the bottom, an option to download the PDF or view it in HubSpot. For our purpose, we'll just view it in HubSpot. A few notes on this. This is a live document. It's a real time link. So all changes that are made to how this thing is configured, or the filters that kind of pull the levers and touch the buttons for the data that is viewed on here, is changing in the background. But as long as you have this link, the link is live, and your dashboard will be current. So what I would recommend is just to add it to your favorites. And then, hopefully, if I do my job in the marketing, folks, if we do our jobs well, you'll be living off of this thing, and this will be a dashboard that'll be part of your daily routine and how you go after your customers and your leads. And instead of having to go into HubSpot and navigating to your dashboard, if you just put this link in your favorites, you'll go directly to your HubSpot, every time you log. So how do we make best use of all of this? How do we help it generate success and sustainable growth for the sales team and for the success of Raise3D as an organization? Uh, Dashboards are inherently useful tools in that you can access all of your reports without having to go through the tedious and very time consuming process of actually generating reports. So long as we on the front end identify and configure all this data correctly, you will have an up to date and like a very up to date snapshot of all the critical activities going on with your customers, your leads, your prospects. Some prospects that you might otherwise not have even known existed. That a dashboard, real-time dashboard system like this will shed light on, and hopefully generate new business, new sales, and help you grow your book. And not only is this dynamic in that it pulls all of this data up to the second, and from Salesforce and Drift and the sales admin team updates. It's also dynamic in that we can change how this is presented, and we can change when we discover that other pieces of data are more useful, we could switch these things out. It's super modular, and we can do that pretty much instantaneously based on what we learn from using this out of the market. So more on that later. So the way that this is broken down, and important to note, there's a cool little feature right here. If you're like, what the heck is this section about? You can just hover over this, and I've put in for each report a little summary that explains kind of the rationale and where the data is being pulled from. So that'll at least give you some idea of what harebrained scheme I had in mind when I configured these numbers. So the thing is organized by leads, engagements, contacts, and deals. So starting off at the top, your leads this week Pretty self-explanatory. Maybe better said as your new leads this week. This is a rolling 5-day figure of contacts that you are the contact owner on that have been assigned or have been categorized as a lead. The lion's share of these are going to be processed by Jennifer and O'Neill and the sales admin team, because they'll be processing those things that come in from chat, conversions, etc. And then they will show up on this screen. Like everything in HubSpot or most things in this report, you click on it and it will show you who that individual is so that you can contact them right away, which is obviously super critical when it comes to a newly generated lead. So just like everything else, all the data that we have available for that lead is right there at your fingertips. In most cases, this number is going to be low, but like as we stated, these are critical contacts, and occasionally you'll have a larger number, but that's usually as a result of sort of a batch entry. Maybe you would have after like a trade show, or if you are just doing some administrative work or a campaign or something where you or the marketing team in one fell swoop categorizes a bunch of your contacts of record as leads. So the second category on the dashboard is engagement. And I will just kind of touch superficially on what engagement is defined as. And it's because I could go on and on for it on this. And I have gotten some feedback that my first video I rambled on quite a bit. So I will just give you the basics of what engagement is, and that's these three. And it also touches upon HubSpot score. So I'll kind of tackle those at the same time and just give you a brief overview of what these things represent. Taking a broader view of the entire dashboard, I very intentionally laid this thing out according to each contact's or the opportunity or prospect's relationship to time. Putting the most time sensitive things at the top and to the left, on the front page. And then as you scroll down, they are less time sensitive. So the top left is, today. That number changes the second that a new lead comes in. And then it's, that's today, that's yesterday, that's 3 days ago. And then this goes into week, month, etc. And as you go down the chart or the board, things get into 6 months. And then eventually, we get into sort of more historical trends in terms of like marketing's relationship with sales. Historical trends and things that involve years and quarters are kind of more useful to the C-suite and the financial guys and whatever. For marketing relationship with sales, this is focused on and tries to draw attention to things that are relevant right now, so that we can strike while the iron is hot, so to speak. So what engagement means is it's a bit of a nebulous kind of a concept where I put together, much like the HubSpot score, a whole bunch of things that indicate that a prospect or a contact is engaging somehow with Raise3D. And so there's a big bucket of things that I can go into at a later time in more detail, of them visiting our website, them interacting with our marketing emails, them downloading our papers, a white paper, or, a number of different things that indicate that they are interested in some way, shape, or fashion in buying a printer or making a purchase. So, like I said, I won't go into all of the things that create these records. And this is going to be like we discussed in the HubSpot scoring kind of exercise a couple of weeks ago. That's going to take some trial and error And as of now, this is just sort of what it is. And so the feedback is going to be critical here. But what this is supposed to represent, and hopefully it will get more and more accurate as time goes on and we learn from the feedback that we get, is who is interested in us right now. And then we go out and, the sales team contacts these folks based on them appearing on these lists, and contingent upon the success or failure of those contacts, we refine how the things get here. So more on that later, but that's engage contacts and HubSpot score. So a few reports here in the middle of the board are about recently created contacts. Here on the left, you have a roster of individual records that are recently created. And so the most recently created are at the top, and then going down according to when they were created. There's a pie chart that shows where they came from, what their sources are, and then a line chart that shows the historical trend. This is put here and there'll be some redundancy here. Some of these are going to be registered as leads. Some of these are contacts that you became the contact owner of because you just entered them in or for whatever reason. But this gives you an up-to-date, up-to-the-second roster of who has recently or most recently become a contact that you own and that you can or you should be calling on so that you could stay on top of those. So that is contacts. So this report on closed deals or closed ones, obviously that is where we're trying to head. Is closed ones is the whole purpose of this entire thing, and in the marketing universe or mindset, we work backwards from closed ones. So got some feedback that it would be useful to put closed ones in sort of a historical context for the sale of, for follow-up and the sale of consumables and filament and stuff like that. So if you're, familiar with your timetable for when historically you make follow-up sales to previous customers, this allows you to track that and go into those historical reports and make some sales calls for follow-up sales of consumables and filaments and things like that. So that is the closed deals section included on the dash. So I hope you found this useful. I hope you find the tool itself, the dashboard, useful. And, the dashboard is just kind of the tip of the iceberg on what these, marketing automation platforms can do and how they can be game changers. As, a dashboard just represents, 8 or 10 of the reports of the countless number of, reports that can be generated and the things that these platforms can do. So this has just kind of been an overview of an overview, but a pretty important one. If dashboards are going to drive your activity, obviously it's real important to get it, right early on. So I hope these are headed in the right direction, and I hope that you'll help me and marketing team make it as perfect as we can, or as close to perfect as we could get it. By actually working from it and then providing us, some significant feedback. Since the integration might be a little bit wobbly, we're kind of relying on, with Salesforce, we're relying on kind of on spot tests to figure out where there might be any weak spots and where it might be broken, if at all. So relying on you guys to let us know where it is working and, more importantly, where it is not, so that we can knock this thing out and make it a tool that is going to help you guys go out there and crush it.